Hey, what is going on, guys? Jack of all trades here. Welcome back. And this, to the topic of today's video is going to be a little bit something that I would like to call closer to home. And in a sense, it's basically about more of what this channel is about, and that is talking about a multitude of subjects, not just video games. And the thing is, this is kind of like a personal story without being too personal, so to speak. And the thing is, I have come to realize, and especially, from firsthand experience, that the power of truly being happy, or even being a step closer to being happy, and being a little bit more positive in life, really does make the difference in the biggest ways. Like one little baby step of being more positive or being more happy and finding that true positivity and that true happiness can make such a big impact in your life. And for those of you guys out there that are a little bit more towards the negative side or a little bit more towards the unhappy side, so to speak, I definitely can relate. For quite a long time, and for many years, consecutive years as a matter of fact, I was just a miserable, very unhappy, so to speak, unfulfilled, you name it, and everything. And that was naturally negative. You can ask anybody that knew me, that really knows me, and I was just really negative. And the thing is, I wasn't negative for the sake of being negative. I was negative simply because of the fact that that was my natural defense mechanism. Because as you guys know, and as you can probably relate, there are just moments in life, for some of us less, for some of us it happens less, for some of us it happens more. It just depends on life circumstances and along with the cards you're dealt and such. But in certain circumstances in life, bad things just consistently happen to you, one after the other, till you ask yourself, like, when does it end? So in a sense, you kind of build up a defense mechanism and such, and it's like whenever the possibility of something comes up, you're going to be like, oh, you got to think towards the negative side, so that way you can kind of adapt and try to keep it from happening, or so that way you can, or so that way it doesn't hurt you as much as if you were to be surprised, so to speak. So trust me when I tell you, I can totally relate, and I sympathize 100%. And this isn't like going to be one of those, corny videos or anything like that saying, hey, get up, be positive or something like that. This is just kind of like a little small example of how it's impacted me, and if it can impact me, it can impact anybody. And I'm just gonna really explain it in a realistic way. Especially since, I was very negative. Now, the thing is, for all this to change, it just took one little positive thing, and it created a little bit of a domino effect. And the way I view life now is somewhat altered or changed a little bit. And the thing is, it's not like I just woke up and went from positive to negative. No, it's just that something happened in my life. Something small. Well, for me it was big, but it was something small, and I don't want to go into detail because it's a little personal and close to my heart. And even though I am, unknown, so to speak, I just naturally keep things private. And I guess as time goes on, I'll be a little bit more open as time goes on. I guess it's one of those personal things I have to work on myself, because I sure as hell am not perfect. So the thing is, that one little thing ended up creating this domino effect, and it was a positive thing, and I had to work to make this positive thing kind of happen. But it was a chance, and I took it. And and by the way, for those of you guys that don't take any chances, I suck at taking chances or whatnot, or just going for it. But when you go for it and you get even if you fail, it's okay, because the more you try, the higher chance you have of succeeding sooner or later. It's the same way with video games, the same way with anything you do. And the thing is, this thing ended up working out really well for me, and what ended up happening was I succeeded, and it created this domino effect that was absolutely amazing, that affected little other parts of my life, that is slowly changing the way I think. And I'm starting to think that, hey, the glass is never half empty, the glass is half full. And the thing is, with that kind of positive thinking, not only do you feel better because of the way you see things and the way you kind of react to things, but it also gives you a sense of happiness, and you're actually able to have more happy days in your life. Now, here's one thing. Here's one way that this happiness, so to speak, has impacted me. With certain things, there's like a handful of things that can really set me off and upset me, just like with everybody else. It's very specific things. Usually, I like to be laid back and calm, and sometimes even carefree when it comes to things. But there are certain things that are like pet peeves that really piss me off. And the thing is, and sometimes there's even been a couple people in my life, only one person that I could think of in my life that has really had a negative impact on me, and I don't forget these things, especially when it was such a to a big degree. But the thing is, when you are happy, when you're truly happy, and then simultaneously something negative tries to come your way, but if you're truly happy, it is like damn near impossible for that negativeness to affect you in a negative way, because the happiness is just too overwhelming and it feels good, right? And as human beings, we're actually built to feel better by default. Kind of like learning how to ride a bike. Once your mind learns that it's easier to feel better than it is to feel bad, and once it learns that, it's very easy for you to be positive, so to speak. I'm sure this is scientifically written somewhere, and it's how the subconscious mind works or whatnot. But that's a different subject, sort of. But the thing is, I was just like, in one instance, I was just so happy that some of the things that just normally bothered me to a great degree whenever I would think about them, they had absolutely no impact at all. And as a matter of fact, something negative could have happened to me right then and there, something brand new, whether it was at work, whether it was at home, or whatever had gone on. And it would be really hard, a lot harder, so to speak, for that negativeness to impact my life. Now, I'm not saying that happiness is a path to invincibility, so to speak, because no human being is invincible. But the thing that I'm just trying to say is that please try to achieve, even if it's to the smallest degree, try to achieve a little bit more positivity and more happiness in your life to the best that you can, because it feels great. And the thing is, you also attract other people to you, especially when it comes to positivity and everything. And it just gives you motivation, and it just really ends up changing you for the better. Now, it's something that slowly happens. It doesn't happen necessarily right away. As a matter of fact, with me, when this thing happened to me, when I succeeded in this one obstacle that I had in my life, what ended up happening was I didn't feel the difference for a little while, actually, because I was still kind of used to, I guess you can say, that way of life. So it took a little while to change. It was like weird. It's like I didn't know how to respond. But once my mind, I guess, started noticing the change, because it was happening to me on a regular basis, I was just like, wow. And then I slowly started to feel the difference. And as a matter of fact, I'm still going through the transition, but I just wanted to make a commentary about it, because not only because I sympathize with the people that are struggling consistently, and because negative things keep on happening and it just seems like there's no end to it. I just wanted to I just basically want to say that, in any way, shape, or form, try to be a little bit more of a risk taker, so to speak, or just try to go for it and just ignore those negative thoughts for once. And it can end up being amazing. Like, for instance, here's something that I will tell you in detail about something that happened to me. It's not as personal, but some people might view it as personal, but I will give you a good detail, because something in detail here, because I kind of kept the first subject on myself, but I'm going to give you a subject here that's a lot more clear. There was this beautiful, beautiful woman, and she was older than me, actually. She was in her early 40s, if I remember correctly. And whenever something came along and an opportunity came along my way with a woman, whether it's because I was shy, whether it was because my situation or whatever it was, I kind of shied away and I just walked away from it, and I never took an opportunity. But with this one woman, I finally said to myself and to those negative thoughts, you know what? I said, fuck it. I just ignored it, and I said, go for it. Big whoop. what's the worst thing that can happen? And which surprised me because I just said, why not? I went for it. I just went for it. I did the opposite of what I would normally do. And what ended up happening was that night was the best night ever. I spent like a vast majority of the evening with this person. We had great chemistry. We had a good time. It was just amazing to be with that person. And I actually explained it to her, and I told her, and that's one of the beautiful things about somebody that's older than you, is that you can actually explain things to them and they can understand you instead of reacting immaturely, so to speak. I basically told her, I'm like, usually I'm kind of shy, I'm kind of this, I'm kind of that, and I never go for it. But, I just straight out told her that, this ended up being one of the best nights ever. I haven't had a good time like this in such a long time, and it was absolutely amazing. We, too bad I couldn't get off of work even earlier to go, to spend more time with this person, because it was absolutely, it was a blast. And she gave me the signs and everything, which I wasn't used to either, which is another reason why I normally back off. But for once, I said, fuck it. So I can say, all I could say is, guys, every once in a while, just ignore those negative thoughts or the possibility of something negative happening or whatnot, and just say, fuck it, and go for it. Worst case scenario is you fail. And there's nothing wrong with that, because you can always get back up. There's while you're alive in this world, in this complicated and this complicated and this world that we live in that is often strange, sometimes you just got to say fuck it, and you got to go for it, because quite frankly you have an infinite amount of possibilities. If you fail, so what? It's not like you're a failure at life or anything. And as a matter of fact, the most successful people are the ones that have failed the most. But it's because they tried again and again and again is what got them to be better. And again, going back to video games, it happened with me in Call of Duty. I became better at this game by failing over and over again, and then realizing what made me fail, and then just slowly improving upon them, and trial and error and all these different kind of things. So the thing is, guys, again, going back to the beginning, I completely sympathize and completely relate and understand to having, the cards not dealt right and things constantly happening to you that are negative over and over again. But do your best, and if an opportunity comes your way, say fuck it and go for it. Even if you fail miserably, it's still better than not trying at all, because even if you fail, usually you learn. And through martial arts, also, this is a personal story, I've always learned, you never ever lose unless you don't learn something. So when you don't succeed at something, just ask yourself, did I at least learn something? So, and if the answer to that question is yes, then you did not really fail. You succeeded. Because, a success is not always about hitting a home run. And going to baseball, a base hit is just fine. Making that little bit of a difference is just fine. It's not always about that home run. I'm not saying you're never going to make a home run, but sometimes you just have to kind of build up to it, get your strikes, and then eventually you get your base hit, and then you'll work your way up to that home run. So, long story short, just go after this home run, and every once in a while, you just got to say, you know what, fuck it, and just go for it. And I hope whoever's listening out there can kind of relate. I'm sure you can, because we're all in this together. So, and let me know in the comments if something happens, or if there's something relatable or something like that. Let me know, because it is these things are these little tidbits and these little pieces of positivity and happiness that make the biggest difference. I find that fascinating, and that's the kind of person I am. It's all about the little things, guys. Just remember. And I'm not trying to talk down to anybody or anything, because God knows I'm still learning, and God knows how many times I failed, and God knows how many times I've shied away. But I'm just trying to explain that in these just two examples here have made such a big impact to make, a difference in my life and the way I approach things now and the way I see it. And it's slowly starting to change, and I'm still going through the transition. But it's been so good that I just had to make a video commentary about it. And life has been slowly but surely getting better. So, you know, I hope this helps you guys in any way, shape, or form to just say fuck it and go for it. And here's to success. So that concludes the video. I know it's a lot longer, but it was something that was dear to my heart, especially. So I thought I'd put it out there, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Have a good one. See ya.
SEALs, your mission directive has been achieved.